In this lesson video, we will cover more advanced techniques for creating and positioning shape objects. We will learn about the log drawing mode, how to use the modifier keys in relation to shape creation and transformation, and finally, object alignment. First, let's discuss the log drawing mode. Suppose we are making a diagram consisting of many rectangles. For example, an organization structure. We can open the Insert menu, then create the first rectangle shape. Like this. Creating one rectangle shape is easy. But if we want to create the next rectangle shapes, we need to go back to access the Insert menu again, or the Shape Format menu. Obviously, this will take a lot of time. To create multiple shape objects of the same type over and over again, you can right-click on the Shape button, then select Log Drawing Mode. In this condition, every time you click-drag on the worksheet, a new rectangle shape will be created. So with this, you no longer need to go back and forth between worksheets and menus to create one type of shape multiple times. Once finished, you can press the Escape key to exit this log drawing mode. Next, the log drawing mode also works on arrow shapes with its snapping feature. For example, I can right-click on the straight arrow button, activate the log drawing mode. Now, I can create a new line that snaps straight from this rectangle to this one. And again, and so on, pretty quickly, without having to go back to the menu above. After you are done, just press Escape as before. In general, what modifier keys mean are the Shift key, Control key, and Alt key on a keyboard. Of course, these three keys apply to PC computers. If you are on a Mac, you usually just need to replace the Control key with the Command key and the Alt key with the Option key. For this lesson, I'll be using a PC computer. We can use the modifier keys to help us creating, selecting, and also when transforming shape objects. Let's first discuss their usage in the process of creating shapes. The first is the Shift modifier key. If we create a circle shape, for example, to make the shape perfectly round, not squashed or stretched, after you select this circle shape in the menu, when performing click-drag like this, and then you hold the Shift key, Excel will make the width and the length of the shape uniform. Due to this, the shape becomes perfectly round or circular. If you create a rectangle shape, holding down the Shift key while clicking dragging will make the rectangle a perfect square. If you use this technique on a straight arrow, you can see that the arrows snap to the nearest 8 compass directions. Feel free to experiment with the Shift key and the other types of shapes. The second modifier key is the Alt key. If you hold down the Alt key while creating shapes, the edges of the shape will snap to the grid, or in other words, on column lines and row lines in the worksheet. Next is the Control key. With this modifier key, when you click-drag to create a shape, the starting point where we press the mouse will be used as the center point of the shape object. If we release the Control key, the point that is used as a reference is the upper left point of the shape object. So this is with the Control key, and this is without the Control key. Besides being useful in the creation process, the modifier keys are also useful when we do selection and transformation. If we select a shape object, for example, and we want to select several other shapes, we can hold down the Shift key and just click on the other shapes that we want to select as well. To deselect or make an object unselected, you can hold Shift and click again on that object. Next, for transformation, if we move a shape object while holding Shift, the object can only move straight horizontally or vertically. If we hold the Alt key, the shape object will snap to the grid lines. Excel will automatically snap the points in the shape to the closest lines in the grid. Perhaps the most unique of all is the Control key. If you hold down the Control key, then move a shape object, the shape will be duplicated first before it is moved to the new location. You need to keep in mind that you can actually combine all of these modifier keys techniques if you want to. Just an example, let's say you want to create a perfect circle and its center is located at this point, while the lower end of the circle is on this line. To do this, we can select the circle shape button, and to snap to this point, hold the Alt key first and click drag, then hold down the Control key also so that the center point of the object is used as the reference, and then hold Shift so that the circle shape is perfectly round. Move your mouse closer to this line so that it snaps there. And this is the result. Another example, we want to duplicate these rectangles all the way down, straight vertically. First, we need to select all these shape objects with the help of the Shift key. Then hold Ctrl and click drag it down to duplicate. And then also hold down the Shift key to make them move straight vertically. Release the mouse. And this is the result. Indeed, these combined techniques require some practice to truly master them. But you can imagine how this can help you to work in Excel more efficiently. The final technique we will cover in this lesson is alignment. If we make a rectangle shape like this, hold Ctrl and duplicate this over here, and again, up until we have 3 or 4 rectangles. But let's make them to have different sizes. Now, suppose we want to align all of these shapes to the left or to the center or to the right. To do this, first, select all these rectangles by holding down the Shift key. After they are all selected, in the Shape Format menu, you will find the Align menu. If you click on Align Left, all of these rectangles will be aligned to the left. Let me undo this using Ctrl Z. If you click on the Align Center option, then they will all align to the center. I undo again. And if you select Align Right, then they will align to the right. For the other align commands, the concept is basically the same. The difference is they are for the vertical direction. Next is the distribution technique. Basically, this technique will distribute shape objects with uniform spacing horizontally or vertically. Just for example, if I delete all these shapes except the one above, if I press Ctrl and move this to the right while holding the Shift key also, and just do this several times, we can see now that the distances between these shape objects are not uniform. If we choose all these shapes, you can do that by selecting one of them, then press Ctrl A. After they are all selected, reopen the Align menu item, then select Distribute horizontally. Now the spacing between these shapes is uniform. If you want to do this vertically, then you can use the other command, which is Distribute vertically. The last technique we need to cover in this lesson is the Snap to Shape mode. If you activate this option and you move a shape to another target shape, the shape will snap to the boundaries of the target shape precisely. However, there is one important thing to note. That is, if you use the Snap to Shape command, the option Snap to Grid will automatically become active as well. I don't know why they made it like this, but this is how Excel behaves in the version I'm using when recording this video. So, if you want to disable the Snap to Shape mode, you will also need to disable the Snap to Grid mode. That is, if you don't need the feature.